What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're in the service truck and we're on our way to a place we normally don't go to pick up an engine for a project. Normally it's Facebook Marketplace or, you know, even the side of the interstate. Yeah, that happened. This engine that's in this truck came off the side of I-85. But the place we're going is a little bit of a finer establishment than either of those places I have mentioned. So I gotta go pick up my dad, and then we're gonna be heading to downtown Senoia, where we're picking up an engine for our Fastback project. I better buckle before you guys get upset at me. Not on the main road yet, don't worry. All right, here we go. This has been mainly his deal. You found this engine how?
So back in September, we were at the Senoia car show with the Javelin. There's a buggy shop there, an antique buggy shop, and I went into it and happened to see this 289 sitting on an engine stand, and asked the owner of the shop about it, and he said it came out of a 65 Fastback that he had about 30 years ago. He sent it to a body shop, and the body shop and the car burnt to the ground.
That's a shame, but like I said, a lot of times we find our engines on Facebook Marketplace or even the side of the interstate. This one's coming out of a museum.
Yeah, so it's been sitting on an engine stand for 30 years. He has put Marvel Mystery Oil in it and rotated it. Kind of sounds like the Javelin engine, sitting around for 30 years waiting for us to find it.
Yeah.
And
well,
anyway,
the weird part is it came out of a Fastback, not just a coupe or whatnot. Like, the chance of it being a Fastback versus just a normal 289 Mustang is pretty low, I would imagine.
Or any other Ford, because they were putting them in other Fords that year. So
same year, same car.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Somehow it's ended up back in a Fastback.
So, cool thing is, this thing has an air cleaner on it, carburetor on it. It has the water pump,
the fan. It's complete.
It is the whole deal. It's like just drop it and start it up, drive away.
Hopefully. We'll see. We might even try to get it to run sitting on a pallet just to make sure it's good to go.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, we're going to head over into Senoia and then check this thing out, get it loaded in the back of the truck, and back to the shop. So, hopefully it's a good deal. Seems like it. All right, so we're here in downtown Senoia. We're just one street off of Main Street. This is the Buggy Museum that they have here. We actually registered for their car show inside of it, and that's where my dad found the engine. And they have a bunch of cool old history, like, you know, buggies all the way up to the Model A and the Model T, and apparently a 289 V8 Ford small block, which we're hopefully gonna put in our car.
And Senoia is actually the town where they filmed The Walking Dead.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of cool stuff going on here all the time, but we're gonna go meet Scott and see about this engine.
1860?
So pre-Civil War even.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man.
Or right around.
Yeah. That was because my great-great-grandfather came here in 1850 and founded the Methodist Church. You know, they started with the church, and then this big White House at the corner, that's his house. And then, thinking about 20, 25 years later, built this. You know, there's not a lot of good records. So,
yeah.
And of course, like with everything else, you know, they built it, and then they added on to it, and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Was it always for like buggies and stuff? Was that what it was built for?
You know, it was wagons and hardware and just whatever you needed around the farm. Yeah, I mean, mostly farm implements, wagons, buggies, They did some storage. They actually stored cotton up here for a while.
Okay.
Been a little bit of everything over the last 120, 130 years.
That's pretty cool.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so...
Is this a Fiat?
yeah, that is a 62 Fiat 500.
It's so tiny. It's like even smaller than a Mini.
Yeah, it would have had a 3-cylinder air-cooled engine. It was an Italian copy of the VW, but yeah, suicide doors.
That's awesome. So this one you are working on restoring? I see you got it on a rotisserie.
Yeah, this was my aunt's in college back in the 60s.
Oh, very cool.
She had a problem with the transmission, so she parked it under her mom's porch.
I guess it's small. You could kind of fit it wherever you want to.
And it stayed there for 50 years, and then when they sold her house, it came here. So my uncle, he's into Jaguars and old Porsches.
Okay.
So he wanted a rotisserie, and he wanted something to be the guinea pig on the rotisserie, as far as how easy is it to move, you know, that kind of stuff. And so he said, hey, let's get the Fiat and put it on there. And so we put the Fiat on.
That's probably one of the lighter cars you can put on there to test it.
Oh yeah, this or Miata. But
yeah, that's cool.
But what's neat though, I mean, you know, I could kind of shove this around myself.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's more of a two-man job, but it does make it if you got good level ground.
Oh yeah, and working underneath. I've done a couple cars on rotisseries, man. It makes a huge difference.
My uncle has projects, and some of them I remember when I was 3 or 4 years old. I used to get in trouble playing in them.
And they're still projects?
They're exactly same condition today.
That's how it goes sometimes.
That's it.
You sent some pictures of this. You got a Model A frame in here?
Yeah, this is 30 Model A, and then I've got 2 front ends, and then there's a rear end upstairs.
Speaking of projects, I've always wanted to do an old Model A, but we don't need to add another project to the list. We have too many as it is.
Yeah.
And what is this roof tube?
So that's the Sears and Roebuck aluminum top that goes to my 48 Willis Jeep.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's,
I feel like I have seen these on a Willis Jeep before.
yeah, it's
That is very cool.
yeah, Sears.
So it's all aluminum.
My dad used to have a Sears Roebuck motorcycle.
Oh wow,
Is that an old hit and miss engine too?
that is an old hit and miss.
Man, there's some cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
So how did this place end up turning into a museum then?
You know, back in the mid '80s, when my dad retired, when he forcibly retired from Eastern when they went bankrupt.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Him and my grandfather said, "Look, let's do something with the shop," is what they used to call it. Let's do something with the shop. Let's rearrange it. Let's organize some stuff. Let's put some stuff out for display. And so they just kind of piddled with it for a couple of years, and this is what we ended up with. You know, they're both gone now, but I've been kind of piddling with it too. But
So you work down here and all the stuff is upstairs, correct?
And, and that's kind of how this was set up back in the day too.
Yeah.
The way it would work was they assembled the wagons and buggies and whatever it is they were working on here. So that's why they had these ramps.
Oh, I did see that, the rails and the ramp.
On the ramps, and they used to have they had a big wheel thing up there. They could hoist stuff up the ramp, using manpower. The reason I'm just kind of showing you all this kind of stuff because it needs to go. Y'all may know somebody that's interested.
Yeah, well, who knows if anybody's watching the video here on YouTube. If you see any parts that you need, drop it in the comments, and then I'll reach out to you and see if we can connect you with these guys, because they got stuff for sale that they need to get rid of to make some room.
That's right. We are running out of room.
These rails are cool.
Yeah.
That's a good way to keep a buggy straight going up the ramp.
That's it. Hey, that's 1890 technology.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, turn some hats on.
This is such a cool building.
Yes, it is. And so you got an actual indoor well here, right?
Yeah. So about 1900, 1905, they started doing some canning foods and stuff in the basement. They did canning for a while. Had to have a water source. So they just cut a hole in the floor and dug down 70, 80 feet.
Oh, so it's a hand dug well, brick lined?
Still functional?
There's water in there.
Yeah.
I can plug.
Does this light turn in?
Yeah. Let me plug it in for you.
That's cool, because we have a hand dug well in the front yard.
Be careful. There are 2 cell phones in there already.
Oh, really?
About 6 pairs of prescription sunglasses.
Oh, man, make sure there's no glasses on my head.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah. That is cool. Oh, so it's still just dirt. Because a lot of them they line them with bricks the whole way down.
Yeah.
You can see the water down there, though.
My mom on her farm in southern Indiana had a well under the house.
That is cool. Then there's just a log on a roller to. That's awesome. Oh man, look at that.
Technology.
Coweta.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a local brand for Coweta County.
Sure.
Yeah, it says down the bottom, Elders Mill, Senoia, Georgia.
Chick starter and grower.
Yeah.
Everybody always wonders how you pronounce Coweta.
Right.
There it is. Coweta. Not Coweta or Coweta. It's Coweta.
Yeah, and if you're having trouble starting your chicks,
Right.
here you go.
That's right. I was gonna say that might come in handy. I guess you just throw some of that out on the
There
ground.
you go.
In the next to her seat in the club, and get her.
I like it. Oh, is that your Fastback Mustang there in that picture?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
Well, I was wondering if you had pictures.
I just saw it from across the way.
I've got an album with a bunch of pictures in it, but that's kind of the best.
That's a good one.
We just picked up a set of those wheels today. So
now we need to paint the car
red with white stripes.
Yeah, that was a Rangoon red.
Man, that's pretty. So this is the engine out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know the story. Like
Different car. I had two. I had that
Oh,
one.
okay.
I had a parts car, and the parts car had rusted subframe connectors.
Okay.
So I talked to the guy at the body shop, welding shop, and he goes, yeah, he says, hey, pull the engine transmission out of it, leave everything else in it, bring it to me because I'm going to put it on the rotisserie, I'm going to rotate it over, and I'm going to put your new subframes in. So we took all that off, took it to him on a Friday. He goes in there, works on it on a Saturday, and then later Saturday night, his whole shop burnt down.
Oh man.
We assumed something that he was welding on, maybe it dropped some sludge somewhere or something, and that. So that 65 Fastback got burned up in his shop. So this was the engine that came out of that one. So that was it was a 65, 63A car. So this is the bell housing, the flex plate, the clutch, the flywheel,
The fork. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've got pretty much all of that now. I've had it since 1984.
So is that when the fire happened?
Yeah, I think it was 84. So.
Wow.
So next year will be 40 years.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it is 40 years. Wow.
So yes, 40 years this stuff's been sitting.
And you've been turning this motor periodically
I have,
for 40 years?
It sat in my shop.
Oh look, it's got the
So
289 high performance sticker on the air cleaner. Man, it's a complete engine. It's got everything. All the way down to the clutch fan.
So you said you had it sitting in your shop?
it was sitting in my shop. Yeah. So I mean, I was walking past it every day. So every couple of days, I'd come over and just kind of grab the.
Get you a little workout?
Grab
It's
yeah,
still turning,
yeah.
huh?
grab the harmonic balancer and just turn it through.
Man, that's awesome.
So
It's got a Holly 4-barrel on it already. Is that an aluminum intake manifold? It's
that's a
cast
Ford. That's a Ford aluminum intake manifold.
That's pretty cool.
A Ford aluminum intake.
Yeah, it's got a Ford part number. Here, let me hold that for you.
Oh, that's super cool. I know everybody puts, Edelbrock intakes on them and stuff, but to have a Ford aluminum intake manifold is very neat.
Of course, this was the original bell cover.
You got to dress it up a little bit. We have a set of these that came with our car too.
Did this intake come with it?
No, that's a little different intake. The intake that came with it, I sold to somebody, and then I got this one. I can't remember. It was 40 years.
Like you said, yeah, 40 years ago. It's hard to remember that.
I was trying to remember where the headers went because I've got a picture of this engine on a engine stand where you can run the engine. It has a place for the radiator and everything.
Yeah.
And I got a picture of this on the engine stand with the headers mounted upside down like a
nice,
boat,
yeah.
because I had to do that in order to run it, and I've tried to find those pictures, but they're stuck somewhere. But
well, we want to try to do that. Actually, get it running.
Yeah, we might
drop it in the car.
make some little mounts and just stick it on a pallet and see if it'll run on a pallet. We don't have an engine run stand right now. Just to make sure it'll fire it up before we stick it in a car.
Oh yeah, I mean, like it's
But I'm sure it will. I
it's
mean,
good.
like you said, if an engine spins, generally you can make it run.
At one point when I was a senior in high school, I had 2 Fastbacks, and my mom drove a 65 Mustang convertible. And after the fire, we ended up with this. I said, well, I'll put this in Mom's convertible because it was a 6-cylinder convertible. And then the convertible got stolen.
Man, y'all have bad luck with Mustangs.
Now, that was about 10 years later when
Yeah.
the convertible got stolen.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't put that motor in it.
I guess so. Yeah. It's a good thing they got that 6-cylinder.
We wouldn't be here today.
Right. It's like a pet. I'm glad it's going to a good home.
So this will be a huge performance upgrade because it's currently 0 horsepower.
Yeah, it has nothing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of like I'm donating to a good cause. So.
No, that's awesome.
Oh, we appreciate that.
So, okay, we
got to figure out how to get it out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a come along that I thought would help us get it down this ramp and go out the front door.
Well, I think with 3 of us, we could definitely get it down this ramp. Could we get it down the other ramp? That one's steep, but we got 3 of us.
We got the come along.
How much space do we have to? How far do we have to travel?
We'll go walk down Main Street while there's a fall festival going on. There's some awesome stuff in here. So
This is your Willys that you talked about.
you got Model A, Model T, and then the Willys that had that aluminum top on it.
Here's a picture of it. With the
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is very cool.
So,
That's not something you see every day, is the aluminum top on these things.
Right.
I've only ever seen one before, and I thought it was something somebody made.
right.
But I guess it was Sears and Roebuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got the ad in here. I think. Yeah, here's the
Oh, that's cool.
ad from Sears for your aluminum tops.
I mean, I bet they're super lightweight, so you don't really notice them on there.
$2.99.
Because these are making, what, 30, 40 horsepower on a good day?
Yeah.
So the less weight you can have, the better. So yeah, that's a Willys. Like I said, you got the Model T, which these are super cool. I've always found these fascinating, that when you're driving on a hot day or through the desert, you fill this with water, and then it kind of dribbles out on your radiator, and it gives you evaporative cooling that helps it cool better. So it's cool to see those, because you don't really see those very often.
No, those are kind of hard to come by.
My mom, when she was a kid in southern Indiana, they had, I don't know what kind of car, but they had little plastic snap-in windows because it was so cold.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then I think her brothers bought a heater. The car didn't have a heater.
Oh,
They
you're
bought
talking like
one.
that 1930 Chevrolet or whatever
I
they
don't
had.
remember.
Yeah, I've seen picture. She said she has a picture of it.
They bought a heater at Western Auto and put it in the car.
So it was like a kerosene heater or something that went on, because a lot of the early heaters were, they burned fuel instead of using them to cool it.
Like lamp fuel. I think.
Yeah, which sounds terriifying to me.
It's when
Yeah.
you think about carbon monoxide.
Yeah, or the chance of a fire.
The Model A is really cool.
Can we open this, sir?
Oh man, this was a mail delivery vehicle.
I know you don't want people coming in.
The passenger window got broken while he was delivering mail, and so he made this little flap to deliver mail through. Oh, that's cool. Gotta love history in places like this. What a cool old building. Full of very cool old things from here locally. Bunch of old camera gear. You got a bunch of different taxidermy. Cool old glassware and pottery. Oh, there's even like postcards and checks and stuff. So if you're ever in Senoia and want to check out a really cool place, the Buggy Museum is a really cool location, and they have just a bunch of really neat stuff. A bunch of Coca-Cola products. Like, I think that's a washing machine. I don't know. I'm fascinated by this kind of stuff, so it's super cool to be able to walk through this place. And so I remember these. My great grandma used to have these, and we would look through these little deals. Let's see if you could see. I don't know what that is, but there's a bunch of different pictures on those reels, and you flip through them and get to see them. But yeah, we're gonna work on getting this engine down here. Super cool talking to Scott and hearing a little bit about the history of this place. I could walk around this place forever and just look at cool stuff. Like, that's a gigantic safe. That's awesome to me. But let's ignore all the cool historical items and focus on the engine and how we're gonna get it out of here and down to the truck. We got a ramp to get down, which I think we can handle no problem with us three. That ramp is a little steeper, and it's kind of blocked off, so I don't know what we're gonna do yet. We're gonna figure it out though. So you guys have figured out a plan. What's the idea here?
So you and me are going to get under it, or in front of it rather, while it's going down, and Scott's going to keep it tracking.
He's gonna be on the safe side of things is what it sounds like. So yeah, we're gonna try this, and then apparently we're gonna walk it down the street and around to where the trucks are in some fashion.
The easy part.
It's coming out of a building from 1860. That is just
1860.
amazing.
Yeah, 163 years old. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's old.
Make sure you step on the grip.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, this isn't bad so far. Granted, we're not completely on the ramp.
Runaway engine.
Yeah.
That would not be ideal. I think we're alright.
We're having to actually push it down the ramp.
Yeah, it's not rolling as easy as I expected. Oh yeah. This wasn't even difficult. Nice. Well, that was the sketchy part. Now we get to have all the random people on the street look at us like we're weird. Which is definitely going to be the case.
I think I'm going to take my shirt off.
You're going to have to lift.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it while, you film? Oh.
Doesn't like it.
Maybe we can go around it at least on one side.
I would go to that side.
Oh, yeah, it's wider over there.
I mean, it's fine once you get it up on there.
Let me pull these carpets.
Oh, okay.
That's probably the way to do it.
Just fold them back. Fold them to
Yeah,
one
we can
side.
just fold it over on itself. So is this the original floor that was in this building?
Oh, yes.
Man, that's so cool.
Yes.
I love that kind of stuff when a building has maintained its originality.
From all of this to where we're at now, I think we need to go back a little bit.
Well, this place started off with 1 horsepower machines running through it. Now you're wheeling a couple 100 horsepower through it.
Oh, we need some wood. Or some earplugs.
I don't think there's bearings on these. I think it's just a metal shaft. So.
Yeah. This wood's getting a workout.
Where are we going?
We're going down the sidewalk and down there where you go through the, not far at all. We're part of the Christmas parade.
That's right. This is the engine for Santa's sleigh.
I can't say I've ever walked down the street in downtown Senoia with an engine before. You gotta take your engine for a walk.
That's right.
There you go.
Are we going right here? Yeah. Going to the public restrooms with an engine.
That's it.
Oh, jeez. You gotta lift it. What do you think about your find?
It's period correct for the car, so I think it's just like it was just meant to be.
Excuse us.
It's a long story.
Yeah.
Nice.
Capturing history here.
Did it get heavier? I'll let him do the work. That's what he usually. Yeah, I like this move better. I'll just let him do the work and I'll walk along and be the camera guy.
Yeah, so we're thinking we're going to need the engine hoist to get it in there. I guess, right?
I would assume so, yeah. They're not made for off-roading.
No.
That ain't going anywhere.
Yeah,
we don't have it's good to go. As long as you say that, it's good.
That's it.
Put the air cleaner back on, and I can pull the truck out of the way. I can move real quick. All right, well, there we go. Engine's loaded up. That ain't going anywhere, and it'll ride. I guess that kind of wraps it up for us here. I want to give a big thank you to Scott for the deal on the motor, and to put a 65 Fastback motor back in a 65 Fastback is pretty cool.
It's got to be good karma for me, good
There
karma
you go.
for you. Yeah, it's definitely getting it back on the road and getting it back into a car versus gathering dust here.
Yeah, we'll have to bring it by when it's running.
Oh yeah.
That way it's here at the
Maybe be in
museum.
the car show and
Yeah, next year's car show, we'll try to get the Fastback in here.
Yeah, take you for a ride in it.
Oh, that'd be
All right, well, we're gonna roll on. It looks like you got a party going on in the museum now. He accidentally left the door open. There's that festival happening outside, and now the museum's full of people. But it's awesome how many people are walking through here appreciating all the cool stuff he's got. So that's pretty awesome. Well, we're gonna hit the road and get back to the house. Well, we're done causing a traffic jam out here, so we're gonna roll on back to the house. I gotta drop my dad back, and then I'll just park the truck in the shop tonight with the engine in the back, unload it. Maybe I'll unload it tonight. I think we have a free engine stand somewhere, so.
Yeah, so we got a Chevy with a 4289 in it.
Yeah, something like that. All right, let's go.